everybody, thanks for checking out my 7th Dobyns rod review for the year. I've got a technique for you guys here today that no matter where you're at, north, south, east, west, this is a technique we should all be throwing more of, and that is the Wacky Rig. The first year I traveled on the road, I fished the Major League Fishing Invitationals in 2023, and that was a huge eye-opening experience for me as far as the effectiveness of a Wacky Rig goes. The first tournament was on Lake Okeechobee. It seemed like half the top 10 was throwing a Wacky Rig. From there, we went to Clarksville in Georgia. Dakota Ebear won that tournament. He was mixing in the Wacky Rig big time and had a very, very good tournament. Obviously, caught an 8-pounder on it. From there, we went to Lake Eufaula in Oklahoma. It seemed like half the top 10 was throwing a Wacky Rig there as well. And then we went to Lake of the Ozarks, where John Cox and Keith Carson blew that tournament away, first and second throwing a Wacky Rig exclusively. And then we went to the Potomac River. The winner of that event was mixing in a Wacky Rig and caught a ton of fish on it whenever the tide was right. And then after that, we finished up the year at La Crosse, Wisconsin. I know that over half the top 10 was throwing it. I know second place had a great event throwing it exclusively. And like I said, after that tournament season was over, reflecting on that year, I knew that I needed to get very, very familiar with the Wacky Rig. I am a power fisherman at heart. If I had my way to catch them all the time, I'd be catching them on heavy line or something of that nature. But I know that fish don't always want to chase. You got to finesse them. And there is no better presentation than a Wacky Rig or a Nico worm. Anywhere from a Yamamoto Cinco to a Big Bite Nicorama, I throw on the Dobyns Champion Extreme HP 703 SF. This rod is a 7-footer. It's a medium fast action. And what I like about this rod is, for starters, that Champion Extreme HP blank is very, very sensitive. You're using a relatively light line. I'm using anywhere from 10, 12, maybe even 15-pound braid with a fluorocarbon leader, ranging anywhere from 8-pound if I'm on a really, really clear lake, kind of with not a lot of cover like Table Rock, I'll throw 8-pound, 10-pound. And then if I'm on a grass lake with a lot of really, really big fish, I'll go up to 12 or even 15 if I need to, just to be able to control the fish. So with all that being said, this rod is a medium fast action. I'm throwing braid. It's very, very sensitive. You can feel every single bite with it without a problem. But this rod has a lot of backbone, and the first 30% of this rod has a lot of tip to it. That's very, very crucial whenever you're throwing a weightless bait such as a Wacky Rig or a Nico, just so you can get that rod to load up and be able to skip that bait or throw it very, very accurately and lay it in there quietly without spooking the fish. A lot of times whenever you're throwing a Wacky Rig, you're fishing a bright, sunny, windless day that's not conducive for power fishing, so you need to make the perfect presentation and lay that bait in there. This rod is soft enough in the tip that you can load it up and throw it effectively, and like I said, be very, very accurate. Now on the business end of this rod, being a medium fast action, it does have plenty of backbone to catch as big a bass as you want to catch. You can get a good hook set on them. And on a Nico rig or something, you can blow that hook right through the worm, cut the worm off, and get a good hook in the fish and be able to land them effectively around cover. So I feel like it's a very, very good combination of tip action and backbone to be able to throw a weightless worm like this effectively. I absolutely love it. Like I said, very, very sensitive. The other thing I really, really like about this rod is the fact that the handle length is not too long. It's not going to get hung up in your clothes whenever you go to make a roll cast with this bait. It's short, it's accurate, and it works very, very well for me. So if you guys are in the mood to catch a bunch of fish in the spring, summer, fall, whatever, on a weightless Wacky Rig worm or a Nico worm, go over to DobynsRods.com and check out the Champion Extreme HP 703 SF from Dobyns. So if you guys like this video, like it, subscribe, share it with your friends, drop me a comment, let me know what you guys think about this technique. And as always, I appreciate you guys watching. It means a lot to me. We'll see you next time.